So, welcome everyone to the third episode of In the Mix, which is a weekly talk show hosted by Jamsteady X Topcat CCU, where we talk about music, art, tech, collaboration, the business of music and art, and lots of other things around it. We feature musicians, artists, sound engineers, producers, managers, and other scenesters from around the world. This In the Mix promises to be your weekly dose of fun conversations, news, and trends from the world of music. Today's edition is super exciting, and we speak about the buzzword content and whether or not artists are content creators. We look at the good, the bad, and the alternate sides of the music, art, and the culture and see how they are evolving with the times. So, I'm going to start bringing our guests one by one. And for this discussion today, we have three amazing guests who I admire a lot. And they come from three different backgrounds from the world of music so that we can get different perspectives on the subject we are talking about. Our first guest is someone I consider as my elder brother. He's a legend and the most amazing human being. The man behind the live sound of Nirvana, Pearl Jam. Oof, just saying that makes me all goosebumps are happening. Foo Fighters and amongst many other bands. The man very fondly referred to as Silver Fox. Please welcome Miti Adhikari.
Hi everybody.
Hi Miti. Hi.
How are you, Nishit?
I'm good. I'm good. So good to see you. So
Yeah,
I'm going to do these introductions quickly and bring everyone so we can all have a chat
there
together.
you go.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
That's
That's
bingo.
Bingo is also part of this
Yeah,
conversation.
he's learned a bit of sound engineering from me.
Yeah. I don't think he agrees to the our thing where when we said artists, content creators. Okay, so our second guest is someone who I consider the rock of the music scene for his sheer determination, passion, and drive to make things happen. The frontman of one of the most popular post-rock bands of the country, As We Keep Searching, the most humble, supportive, and hardworking guy I know. Please welcome Uddipan. Where is Uddipan?
Hi,
Hi, Uddipan.
hi, good to see
Hey.
you. Hi.
Yes.
This feels like getting on stage after the introduction. You're waiting
Yeah,
and then the
I'm
curtains are
trying.
up.
I'm trying to make it look like
Yeah, it,
that.
it feels fantastic. Hi, Miti.
That's
Hi, Uddipan. How are you doing?
All good, all good.
okay. I'm going to bring Paloma also so that we can start the conversation. Okay, so our third guest is one of my favorite singer songwriters of the country, someone who can light up the room by her sheer presence. She has won awards for the best. She's won an award for best upcoming female vocalist in 2018 and as a best playback singer in 2019. Please welcome the super talented, very versatile Paloma of the electropop duo Paloma and Ariel. Here we go. Paloma is here.
Hello. Hi, everybody. Thank you for
So
that
everyone's
amazing
here.
introduction. I haven't heard compliments about myself in a while.
Yeah, I'm trying to make it as
Thanks, Nishit. That was
yeah.
really great.
Usually, if you've seen at gigs, I'm very shy from doing these. I just let things happen. But I thought this will be important to do, and it always sets a nice mood.
Thank you so
So
much.
first, I think always the question: how is everyone doing? How are you all doing? Just I think we should start with that, and then we'll lay down the context of our chat. Miti, how are you doing? How are things in
Well,
Goa?
I consider myself and Sam. We're quite lucky in that we've managed to move to Goa before this whole thing happened. But the main thing is like whatever bad situation you're in, somebody in the whole world, or many people in the whole world, are in a worse situation.
Yeah,
So I think you've got to be a bit humble and be thankful for your blessings, and
definitely.
just hope that this goes away, and then you can see everybody again, and we can sort of pretend to go back to normal.
Yeah, definitely. Uddipan, how have things been with you?
I'm good. I'm so grateful of the fact that I was able to come to Goa in 2020, be here for a while, then fall in love with the place in a different way, because all this while
Mm.
we used to come for what, 4 to 5 days or maybe a week of party and nothing else.
Yeah.
So, but in 2020 when I visited here, it was fantastic. Then I also got the chance to be in Meghalaya in Shillong for more than a month. So, and
Ah,
now again, before just the second wave started, managed to get back to Goa and have been here since April. So
mhm.
I love traveling. So
Yeah.
and my whole mind, all my inspiration, everything comes from travel. So
Mm.
I'm really grateful that I could still do bits and pieces of it here and there and just go across. And I was also in Guwahati, and we managed to play two shows. How can I forget that? In February
Wow.
and
Wow.
March, yeah, we managed to play two shows, which was fantastic. Like after a long time getting on stage, and I
Yeah.
almost missed that feeling. I forgot about it, you know.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
yeah,
So true,
definitely,
man. So true. Yeah.
life is good.
That's good. That's good to hear. Paloma, what about you? What have you been doing?
I've
How are
been at
things?
home actually, and I have actually
Mm-hmm.
never been to Goa at
Oh
all.
wow.
Okay.
Not even for partying or anything like that. But then that's one of the first things that I'm going to do after this ends, or at least calms down a little bit. However, I have
Yeah.
been at home and I've been with family, so it's all been good. I've been lucky in ways, but obviously, the frustration of being uprooted from our previous lives usually is present, and that haunts us. But apart from
Yeah.
that, I guess we've all been blessed and lucky, and we're at
Yeah.
home.
For sure.
I mean,
For sure.
this live stream is proof that we're all very comfortable in our homes. So,
Yeah. Definitely.
yeah,
Definitely. I think one of the reasons I started this also was I was missing this whole interaction with artists, musicians, our crew, sound people, everyone. And the whole energy is just, you get so used to it, it
yeah,
becomes a part of you. And then suddenly you're like, there's like this void, like there's nothing
yeah,
happening. And I thought, okay, let's start this. At least we'll start conversation. It be a reason to chat and discuss things and just be connected.
yeah.
There's sometimes you need an excuse to do that. So I think this was one of the reasons also to start this. It took me some effort, but yeah, I'm really happy that I'm being able to do this. Okay, so what I'll do, I'm going to lay down the context for today's chat, the discussion that we have. I'll just lay it down and then we'll open it up and we'll start talking one by one and between each other. It'll be very casual in that sense, but I think the topic itself has many layers and uh, it has things that could trigger different emotions for people. So let me lay it down and then we can, yeah, open it up.
Nishit, I noticed a fantastic thing. Can I amaze you?
Yeah.
Your mic
Yes,
is
please.
scratching your t-shirt and it is
Oh,
making a
oh shit.
sound.
Oh shit.
No, see,
I'm
yeah,
also a
yeah,
team.
that one. No,
Oh,
no,
okay.
it's near your here. Like that mic, when you
Right.
move, it's scratching and it is making a sound, which is very
Oh,
subtle, but it is there. You'll notice it.
okay. So I should not move basically.
You can move. I see how Miti's mic is just above him, like it's
It's
not
hanging.
touching.
this,
Right.
this is Apple.
Ah. And I'm also a DJ, so I'm using this
Wow,
as a way
what a
to just
great flaw.
add
Like this is
add a scratch.
interesting technology. Miti brought up like a great thing. I'll definitely explore on this. There is a reason why Apple microphone.
Yeah.
Yeah, the shorter, the shorter.
Oh, wow.
Interesting for sure. Interesting. Cool. I'm gonna try and manage this, and let's go. Let's dive deep into this. So, so the today's topic basically are artists, content creators. So, Akar, I think yes and no, and we hear it, and we will obviously hear it from our guests also their perspective. But I feel content is this new buzzword, and everything is getting packaged as content. Like everything that has media and art, everything gets packaged into one category, which is content. To me, art and content are two different things. Sometimes there can be an overlap, but I don't think we can put everything under one blanket umbrella called content. This is what I feel. And I feel the main difference is if your end goal of publishing your work is to increase revenue, is to, is your main goal is to increase revenue of business, whether it's your business or someone else's, I think that can be categorized as content. It's like an ad or a marketing tool. But if your end goal of showing your work to other people is to inform, to entertain, to inspire, to provoke, I think then you are making art. I feel these are the two main differences which I feel differentiate between content and art. Content may or may not have a cultural importance, but art is definitely what shapes cultures. This is another, I think, big point that I feel makes the difference. Artists can be great content creators. Definitely, I think a lot of creators get inspired from artists, but content creators may or may not be artists. So my question is basically is the same thing. I want to start with this, and I want to ask my guests what do they think about this particular idea. Uh, so Miti, I want to start with you. Do you think artists are content creators? What do you think? Like just straight off top of your head.
Well, first of all, I really object to that word content. It's dreamed up by focus groups in conference rooms in glass walled buildings, mainly in America. But, it's, I mean, for example, like Spotify and Apple Music and all these streaming platforms, they don't care what's on their platform. They just want their shelves to be full. Okay.
Right.
So the thing about this thing, content, is basically so that their shelves are full, they're making money, they're paying the artist a pittance. I mean, really good friend of mine from England, a band called Gomez, from a band called Gomez, he's started this thing called Broken Records. And they've managed to get a parliamentary committee onto it. BMG, Sony BMG, the biggest, one of the big four record companies, have realized that they're actually looking bad now because what artists get paid for doing their stuff is pitiful. It's like one stream you'll get 0.004 of a dollar or something like that. But in the meantime, the record companies and Spotify and Apple Music are making billions. So it's been highlighted, and there's a petition where everybody from McCartney to Jay-Z has signed, and people are now looking at it as a kind of one of the great ills in the world. Musicians and people who create art, they actually contribute to the economy of any country. Right. When there's a successful music business in a country, it brings in, like, for example, in England, it brings in £8 billion a year. So basically, I kind of hate this word content. It's just literally a full shelf. That's what,
Right.
That's what I think.
Paloma, what do you think?
I think I actually do agree with Mithila here, because I think the word content is extremely reductive. To reduce someone's entire body of work into content just because there has been a certain decrease in attention span of the audience, because we don't watch full length anything anymore, right? There's a radio timing of a song, and then there are so many things like your song can't go on for too long because it's going to start boring people or something like that. So I think it's such a factory term, right? The word content. And
Right.
it's when you're scraping at the bottom of the barrel and you come up with something which just which would just suit everyone. And content is just one of those easy words that you can you can plaster it on anything and anything that sells basically, and call it content.
Yeah.
And you can uphold the title of being a content creator and not create anything substantial at the same time. Well, there is there is some weight attached to the word art, right? It comes with its own history, it comes with its own feeling. There's its own politics on what you can call art and what you cannot. That has a weight of its own. But when you plaster something as trivial, if I may say so, as content on everything, it just becomes it just becomes flimsy, I guess. And as soon
Yeah.
as you start calling artists content creators, you have to succumb to everything a content creator does as well, right? You have to start doing things that you perhaps don't want to do with your music. You don't want to, just share a couple of lines from your chorus on an Instagram platform, or any platform for that matter. And just so that people are intrigued by it. Sometimes I'm not generalizing it, but maybe you don't want to do certain things with your song, but since content creation is in vogue, and that is what people are into, because the scrolling culture, we often, like, I mean, I'm guilty of it myself, right? Because of your short attention span, you just focus on these tiny details that perhaps don't really matter, right? On how to dress it up so that someone somewhere, or maybe a large group of people, will be able to identify with it. And the narrative here, see, I actually come from a place where narrative is extremely important for me. And most of the music that I intend to create at this point, I hope and I believe that it is driven by an internal monologue, or something that I learn, or something that I do. And catering to an audience through my content is a different thing altogether. I don't think it has anything to do with my artistry in general.
Right.
So that's where I stand primarily.
Sure.
Yes, everything.
Sure. Uddipan?
I fail to understand the whole concept of content. So I have accepted it that I can't create content, and for us, it is always it has been about working on an idea. For us, we have been a very experimental band in all those, in terms of music, in terms of our live production, in terms of doing listening sessions. So all these are ideas for us. We even made like 8 films, which are like music videos, but we call it films because we never took it as music video, by collaborating with different independent filmmakers for our last album. And all these are ideas to us. And though as a band, we did try to so-called create content after content, keep the post going on, and be in that whole algorithm of social
Yeah.
media,
Yeah.
we haven't succeeded in it. And it was never of an interest to me personally to go and understand this whole rush to release things more and more. But yes, we have a lot of ideas, and as a band, we just focus on executing those ideas, like probably making reels with stock footage, which can go with our music to give a whole cinematic experience. So that's an idea for us. So we release
Right.
everything that we release as our idea, and we feel happy about it, just releasing it. But we have not yet explored the whole content game.
Right.
So I
Right.
have less knowledge about it, and I'm not at all interested so far.
Right. I mean, but is there like a balance between, like, as an artist, you one is something that you create as a piece of art, which is music or painting, whatever, which is your main body of work, and then do you think there should be layers of content around it to kind of promote it and reach out to more people? Is because uh, I mean, the internet has created this like the influencers and then content creators. These are all created because it helps the system. Like how even Miti was saying that um, they need people to keep creating. Like if you create one piece a year, it never helps them or the system. So is there a balance between what you should as an artist, do you need to have that thing? You need to compartmentalize your head that okay, this is my art side and this is my content creator side. What I mean, anyone can jump into that.
Okay.
I mean,
So
I think
yeah, go ahead, Mate. Sorry.
yes. See, I think we're getting slightly muddled up with the meaning of content and its relationship to social media. Okay, so when Uddipan or Paloma they create something, they create it out of their own heads. They're not thinking about, oh, how will I put it onto social media? What should the font be? All of that. They're thinking of how to make that item. I mean, we're talking about music because we're all musicians here.
Yeah,
How to make that piece of music the best that it can possibly be. Okay, and where the social media part comes in is it's advertising really. So people come to see your gigs or download your songs, whatever. So that's the advertising part. I mean, if you went back 50 years, it would be on newspapers, on billboards, or as a trailer in before a film. So I don't think we should get the social media what they class as content is that Facebook would basically close down if nobody put anything on it. Okay, so they see it as
Yeah.
content. They don't.
right.
They don't. Um, go. Oh, this is a great piece of art. All that. They just want to fill their shelves.
Yeah,
Uh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
whereas the listeners or the viewers or whatever, the end user, let's call them, which is another word I hate. They don't see it as content either. It's the people
Right.
in the middle. You know, there's a word for it in Hindi, which I can't remember at the moment. They have to get their dirty little fingers on it and make as much as they can before it reaches the end user. Once it reaches the end user, they have no more control over it.
Right.
So let's just not mix up, a piece of art, a piece of music, a sculpture or whatever as content on one side, and what happens when it gets to its final destination as content on the other side. What happens in between is classed as content because of the way Facebook and all these platforms work. They make money out of clicks.
That's right. I agree. Uddipan, you were saying something. You wanted to add to that? Is there like a balance, or is
So, I don't know much about what's happening outside if I have to talk about my band. So,
yeah,
definitely packaging the release is, as Miti already told, that's a different part of the whole advertising. And so, some bit
yeah,
of vision would always be there while creating an art. And towards the completion, when your job is done, you put your energy into thinking about how to package it or release it. And in that course of digging into the whole concept of advertising, there might be some changes with the art also, like change it this way so that we can present it in a certain way. So I take that approach with the band in terms of coming back to the band again. Okay, if we probably add this bit to our art, maybe it can be packaged in a certain way. So that has helped us. And again, it is not part of the whole content
yeah,
bit, which we would be considering. We are not considering it as content, but definitely the whole selling bit is very important for us. If we are making
yeah,
something, how we would present it or sell it.
yeah, definitely.
I guess there's a
There
little
is.
amount of
Uh,
accessibility, right? I think that's a very important word because we want to make our music more accessible to people, and in that, I think there is a way. Like if you enter this content creation bit of the game, there is a lot of loss involved for an artist because you have to go out, you have to step outside of your creation zone and think about other aspects of the of creation, which perhaps you wouldn't have had to. And I guess as independent artists, we still have some power over it, right? But
Yeah.
in most cases, in most cases, like being a part of an industry as well, which basically functions under your sellability or whatever you might want to call it, how attractive you
Yeah.
are to the people, and then what kind of music people want to hear right now. As soon as we start asking ourselves that question, like what kind of music do people want to hear right now, I think that that's where we start thinking about that entire process ability. Is how it's not that I have something already made and how can I better package it, but I think this content, the word that involves content is more about how I can make something that sells.
Mhm.
It
Yeah.
works in a reverse manner, where you don't
Yeah.
actually have anything to sell, but you want to sell something because you want to be in the limelight. Because
Yeah.
there's so many people on the internet, like just on social media. Like if it wasn't the internet, then it would probably be just catering to a couple of people who select talent and make sure that they see the limelight, right? It would still be like the click behavior is perhaps always in place when it comes to choosing which talent reaches the television screen or which talent reaches the newspaper. But
Yeah.
so there is some chance involved and there is some luck involved, but there is also a present body of work through which people pitch something in order to go ahead with it, or make it more, design it more in a more attractive way for people. However, in this content creation bit, there is no actual content. there
Right.
is there is no actual work that you need to design in order to sell. However, I think artists are adapting, and there are a lot of things that artists are doing in order to use this algorithm to their favor. But in
For
most
sure.
in most cases, I believe that uh, for content creators, it's jumping on the next it's a trend and next thing that's selling, right? It's mostly parroting whatever already exists.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I have a surprise for you guys. I think without telling you, I should do that.
Ooh.
Oh, roll.
So
He
we
didn't.
jumped
He,
into the.
he didn't even tell me also.
So there oh
No,
shit,
he's
what
gone
happened?
now. He's ulto. Okay, no.
So
Hi,
Sambit is.
Shambit.
What's up? Why can't I see you guys? What's happening? Can you guys see me? All good?
What?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah,
we can see
Yeah,
you.
we can
Good
see a part of
audible
morning.
your
really
face.
well.
All good? Better now?
Morning.
What's happening?
Morning's long gone.
It's just after I woke up, this is the first time I'm seeing you guys. So yeah, good morning. It's always good morning. I don't like saying good evening, good afternoon. Good morning. It's filled with sunshine. What's up? How are you
Sunshine,
guys
yeah.
doing? How's everyone
All
doing?
good, all good, all good.
Well,
We're
Yes,
good.
I would.
We're good,
It's
Baba. Yeah, we're good.
good to see
Good.
you
Good.
guys.
You
Okay, I
in
think
Bombay?
we were talking about our artist
Bombay.
content creators.
Hmm.
Oh, you are in Bombay. Oh,
Yep.
right.
Which is why phone internet. There's no Wi-Fi here.
Why Bombay
ooh.
doesn't have internet?
Bombay has internet. My house doesn't have Wi-Fi. My house, because
Oh, okay, okay.
I've come only for 4 days, so it's no use paying for a whole month.
But your phone
Of
internet
course.
is amazing.
Is it? Because I can't see myself. I can see only a dark screen. I can see all of you. I can see all of you, but I can't see myself. So
You're on the phone now, so the phone layout is a little different for each stream. That's why I told everyone to join. One thing I think, even I have not tried. I think if you do some check on top and all that, you'll find
Yeah,
it.
Just
because
keep playing
Or
Tetris with it until it matches.
yeah, yeah, basically.
your audio and video aren't in sync.
I'm going to bring up Rivu's comment actually while we are talking about this. So as usual, Rivu always has some interesting things to say.
Yeah.
Uh, so here we go. Rivu says the act of making art is cathartic, where you introspect and you hope people connect at some level. The act of making content is being relatable with the primary goal of ensuring people connect. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think I agree, totally agree with you. And he also adds that I can't make this fit in 200 characters.
Of course.
Fair
Couldn't have
enough.
used such big words.
Yeah, remove.
I think it's a
Yes.
guitarist thing,
So,
using dark and deep words just to make things complex.
I completely condone. I I like heavy words. I think they
so Sambit, do
come
you
from a
want to
place of
add to this
introspection.
thing? Any
So
of your thoughts to this?
what
What
are
do
we
you think?
talking
Our
about?
artists,
I just joined
yeah,
the conversation
we,
right now. I was having lunch. It was a
we
little
are basically
late.
talking about our artist content creators. We've obviously spoken about a few things around that, but
Okay.
on a very basic level, what do you think? What comes to your mind? Are
I think
artist
I think
content creators?
I think we always kind of tend to put in anything that is artistic on artists, and I think that's unfair because I think everyone's a content creator. I think Sam's also content creator with her photos of how she's setting up in Goa and everybody else. My dad, my mom, my sister. I think we have kind of opened the bridge, or the idea of who's an artist and who's not has completely gotten clouded, because I think every single human being right now who has a phone and has an Instagram account is a content creator. Everybody creates content, and every content
Mhm.
creator has their own circle, right? For suppose there was this woman who got famous singing on a scooter, some puja woman, some song which won't cater to us but had her audience of 10 lakh views, right? I mean, she was singing
Yeah.
something funny, some rap she was doing. So that's a lot of people came and they were like, "Man, this is so crass. This is so bad." I was like, "No, maybe you don't like it. Maybe it's not your taste. Maybe it's not something that you would reshare." But I think every content as per se has a creator. I mean, if you just go to reels or anything, you keep swiping up, you'll see random posts have 10, 15,000 likes. Why? It's because there's someone who is digesting that. It does not always have to be art. I mean, yeah, that way what's become is artists have now become a little behind the game of creating something as per se, because as artists, if you say quote unquote, we always created something because we liked it, because we enjoyed it, because it was inside us. Not because we were told to create something. We didn't create sleep because we were told to create sleep. We three felt it. Shubham felt it, Udips felt it, Bob felt it, I felt it. It was not because we had to
Yes.
create content. But now what's become is that everybody in the world has a smartphone, has an Instagram account, has a Facebook account, and even that one photo is liked by five family members. That's content, because the creation has been made and the content is out for the world to digest. So I think,
That is definitely content. I mean, I think that there's no doubt
yeah,
about it. I think that's the difference. I think all of us agreed that what you are saying is actually what content is what you make on the fly. What you see immediately. It's very spontaneous, or what is trending. All of
yeah,
that combined.
I think
But
when
when you
it
make
Yeah,
gets,
which
art,
is
I
why
think
when
there
you
is a little.
attach this, yeah, sorry.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I think when
Yeah, so
it
when you
gets
attach the word
unfair. Sorry,
content to,
This happens a
go
lot
ahead, go
with
ahead.
Sambit
you
on
go
Yeah,
ahead,
board,
you
by
go
the
ahead.
way. I'm just warning you guys. This happens a lot with Sambit on board.
I think they know me for 20 years, Udips. You've just known me for 2 years. So let's take this forward.
Okay, so
Definitely.
what I
Okay.
was saying is that when you
Paloma.
slap the word content on any artist's face, that whatever you're creating has to be content, not in the literal sense, but again the factory term, in the reductive sense, where you go like, oh, acha, you know what, whatever you made a song, that's fine, but what about the other content? Well, what how to promote it and this and that. And I mean, you always have to promote a song. There are different angles to it. There are different aspects. But it's this content culture, right? If I may call it. And Dinishit, you were saying that content does not influence culture. I think content has deeply influenced culture right now,
Mhm.
because that's the way it's. But I also think that it's a separate genre of its own. And
Yeah,
the fact
that's
that
right.
anyone can pick up a phone and create content, that increases accessibility, right? Since YouTube came along, like there are so so many things that people can do that people couldn't do before. Like there is not that one Lata Mangeshkar or that one Kishore Kumar that everyone looks back at and says that, oh, this is the jewel in the crown, and we are never going to hear this kind of voice again. There's so many, these when you scroll online, there are so many voices that you can just hear, okay, from this part of the country or that part of the country, Kishore Konthi, Latha Konthi. Okay, there's so many things that we're actually discovering, okay, because of content creation. And
Yeah.
I don't deem it illicit, or I don't deem it
Yeah. I think it's its
absolutely.
own thing.
Yeah, but then again, if we have to, if people who call themselves artists or identify as artists, okay, have to create content, they would have to do a lot of things separate from the creation of their art in question.
Right. Yeah. Uddipan, I want to add, and Rivu says, "Is Sambit, are you content?" I think that's the question we should have asked.
Yeah. You don't need 200 characters for that.
Rivu knows that I am definitely not content.
Yeah. No, so I think like there are some musicians I've seen who become popular just based on these trending contents type situations, right? They'll make these 15-second things probably on a daily basis, and now they have
Yeah.
a huge following, and that's become their game. But again, I think it is its own thing. You cannot club everything into one, is what I feel. Ripan, you want to add something? Miti, do you want to add something?
You go first, Uddipan.
I think Sambit mentioned a great thing about content in general. Everything that is
Yeah.
released now, the term content is put to it, and over years it has become the major word to be used about any post, any video, music, or anything, any kind of social media activity that we are doing is relatable to content now, because it makes life easier for everyone to understand. Otherwise, I think what you meant is like how art and content is different, right? So if art
Yeah.
has to be different, then I can go back to how I mentioned earlier, that for
Mhm.
us, it is all about ideas. So we relate to art in terms of ideas, and then we make art, like convert the idea and build upon it to create art. And
Mhm.
Sambit would know it. Like I have, like, as I mentioned, I don't dig too much into content, though we use the term a lot. Like what's happening
I'm
on
sure.
social media? What's happening on
Yeah.
social? Do we have enough content?
Yeah.
But then again, I think the conversation that we are having in terms of content creators who are on probably TikTok and making a dance video, or maybe they are learning a new skill and releasing content, which increased a lot after the pandemic. So with lockdown, everyone has become artists, which
Mhm.
has clouded the whole social media a lot. And
Mhm.
I don't know how this will result after a couple of years, but as of now, definitely. And even like I don't use TikTok, but when I see TikTok videos, even if I try, I can't do it. So it definitely takes some kind of effort to actually
Definitely.
be a TikTok creator, which is great. Like I don't have any dislike to the fact that somebody is taking the effort of making those 15-second video, which is hard. If we try, maybe we would fail at the end, and that's why we don't have TikTok videos. So and there are different ways of doing it. A lot of people do it in a very very meditative way also. It's not just about loud music and stuff. So that's a
Mhm.
skill which people, some have connected to it, and they are building upon it. Maybe it would keep growing from here, but I like Red Hot Chili Peppers, at the end of the day. So that's not my game. And
Um,
since 2020, I have always wanted to hide likes on Instagram, because that was disturbing me a
mm,
lot. Because I was constantly comparing, following the likes, views, and stuff. And
Yeah.
gradually now with this new feature, I am
Yeah.
enjoying my time on social media and cleaning up my feed. So
Can you do that? Can you
definitely,
hide likes?
yeah, you
Yeah, yeah,
can
yeah.
do it
It's a
now.
new thing now.
Yeah, you need to
Thank you.
go into the settings and hide stuff. So
Thank you
yeah,
for
so I
listening.
think Sambit can answer it better because Sambit has been creating a lot of so-called content.
Content.
Yeah, but Miti wanted to add something for it.
Yeah.
No, so I was, I just had a thought while you guys were talking. Again, we're kind of forgotten the question that we're asking on this forum is that are artists content creators? So
Content.
the word artist is there,
Right.
and then there's the word content creator. Now, artists and art, in my book, you you know you try and communicate a feeling, a thought, as Udipan says, an idea, but it's something that can't be said. With music or with art, even with books, it's full of words, but they're trying to create a feeling that somebody else who's the end user can relate to. Whereas, somebody riding backwards on a motorbike video, I mean, it's content, but that's not art. And as Udipan said, it takes some guts and some skill to do that, but it takes some guts and skill to be an astronaut. If you know what I mean. Uh, I don't think you should mix up the two. Is what I'm saying.
Mm. Right.
I
Sambit, I see you smiling. Come on.
I think he's
I
laughing
think
at
it's
Yuvu's
it's
comment.
when no, I can't read it. I'm just laughing
Oh,
at the thoughts that's coming to my head when we have this conversation because everybody has their own kind of words that
yeah.
come in, and there's a conversation you're having with yourself in your head also. I think what actually kind of messes things up in people's head or artists' head, I think, is when someone's a natural content creator and someone's a second-hand forced content creator. I think
Yeah.
second-hand forced content creator is what we're talking about, which is where the actual issue happens. Because as Uddipan said, I've been creating content from when I was born. I mean, it's because I naturally love doing it. I naturally enjoy doing it. I enjoy. Never had bought a car, but bought five drum kits and microphones and cameras and wires and XLR cables and sound cards and treating my room. I don't have half the balance in my account of the things that I own. What's the whole point of that? The end product definitely is content, but I generally enjoy doing it. Now the point comes is when someone sees my video and feels pressurized to create more videos. That's where the issue comes in. I think that's where the wall kind of starts getting a little on the creator, is when you naturally don't feel like creating, because a lot of times, a lot of people, more most of the times, most people, they don't feel like creating it. It's when the numbers start acting on the human being. It's like you don't have X number of followers, or you don't have X number of likes or dislikes or whatever in your video. That's where I think the bridge kind of gets broken, and that's where people also start getting a little uncomfortable about it. And that's where I think bad content kind of comes in, because you're not natural about it. You're not creating it out of will. You're creating it out of either a second hand, like a borrowed idea, as Paloma said, then, like a borrowed, which is, I mean, this is, I think, right now my favorite word of 2021 is second hand personality, which I read somewhere in one of Krishnamurti's posts. And I completely enjoy it. It's when people read books. I mean, I'm not saying books don't, that's not my point, but it's when people read things, see things, and start behaving like that rather than naturally being
Uh-huh.
that. It's like selling yoga classes when you're not a yoga person inside, you know? So that's where actually the
Oh, he's frozen.
Okay.
That's where actually you get stuck.
Okay.
I like take a screenshot
I
of his
just
face, somebody.
Bombay's
completed
gone.
it. Yeah, Bombay is gone. But I still resonate to what Miti mentioned. I think we are drifting a little away from the
Yeah.
whole question. Are artists content creator? I think if we start on that, I think artists are content creator in 2021. That's what I feel,
They are
because whatever we are
right.
releasing, it's at the end of the day, it's being termed as content.
But I guess that's a literal understanding of it, right? Like, our artists, content creators, just because we are creating, then it is
Is there a
content.
pressure on artists to be content creators?
Yeah.
Like,
Not
is,
really. It's like whatever we release would be termed as content as of now.
Yeah.
That's what the whole mass thing has gone into, a direction in which every earlier it was called art, but earlier it was called music, but now even music has become content, because
everything is,
as Miti mentioned about Spotify and other
yeah,
streaming platform and how they run their business.
But I
Uh,
guess we
so
wouldn't uphold the content creator title when we are working and producing, say, the added extra content that you need to promote your original work. Like, would you
then
call
again,
yourself a content creator?
then
Would you say
again
it?
to promote our original stuff, we need other stuff with it, so that's
Of
how it
course.
goes. There is
Yeah.
no escape of this whole content term coming to an artist through stage one till the point of releasing. I think there is constantly the involvement of the word content,
there
and
is.
that makes a musician content creator.
Yeah,
Mm,
you're right, Uddipan. If you boil it down to brass tacks, as it were, it is that. But the other word can be used is product.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, it's a similar word. I mean, but when we say product, you're talking about toothpaste and shoes.
Hmm.
Whereas content, I think the word, I mean, even the word kind of gives it away. It's contained in something. Yeah.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
the vessel that's holding this is the social media of 2021.
Hmm.
That's what it is. So if that vessel wasn't there, then you would have had to you would have to go down the street singing your song loudly so anybody can hear it.
Yeah.
Hmm.
mm,
Okay,
Hmm.
because you have no other way of getting it out there.
Yeah.
So I think when you use the word content, you have to basically tie it to the whole business of Spotify, Instagram, Facebook, and all those other things. It's not doesn't become content without these companies involved.
Yeah. Then we have like a lot of time, lot of the streaming platform and the business model is not liked by many, and there has been a lot of media coverage to the same topic. And then we also have options like Bandcamp. So I like their service a
mm.
lot,
Mm.
in which you upload your music, because digital form is the only form that we have now.
Yeah.
So it has to go through
Yeah, absolutely
digitally.
agree. Yeah, I mean, it has to
So
go. Yeah, we're in that situation now, especially with the pandemic.
yeah. So
But even before the pandemic, it was going this way. But you
Yeah,
were able to tour and have gigs and
yeah,
interact face to face with your audience, which is a different thing from watching a YouTube video.
yeah, exactly.
It's a
So
different feeling.
platforms like Bandcamp do help a lot of artists in terms of selling their merchandise, selling their music, and even doing physical copies of your music. So there is one option which is very legit enough option for, especially for musician, to be like the end-to-end kind of, no middle men in between, and then
Yeah,
releasing. Yeah,
I mean, it's a kind of an old-fashioned record company, but online.
yeah,
Yeah.
That's
right.
what they are. And of course, they have to make money, and they make money from whatever they do, but they don't actually rob the artist,
exactly.
which what Spotify and all these things do.
Yeah.
So I'm going to take one comment. Uh, Jutawala. Okay, Jutawala is asking question is to Uddipan. Uddipan really saying that all art is content? Isn't art supposed to be specifically that which is not mere content?
Uh,
And
he has one more thing. question.
Yeah, he has
It's
another
a
one.
follow-up, right?
Anyone can be a content creator, but doesn't the title of artist have to be merited in some
Yeah,
sense?
that's why like not all content creators, so-called content creators of this time have a lot of followers. So if someone is an artist, they have genuine followers, genuine numbers, genuine involvement, engagement. So that comes with being an artist and how genuine or honest their work is. So definitely the relation would be there. All I'm saying is that the term content in 2021 is used for any kind of art, non-art, or any product that is released on social media or digitally.
Mm.
Yeah.
So, but definitely, if you are attached to a content in a very emotional way, that means you are valuing art more than it just being a content.
I honestly feel that the
Agree.
word content is extremely reductive in its approach, because
Mhm.
it's easier to it's easier to address things when you say content. I agree with that, and it's
Yeah.
true that whatever we end up creating by default becomes content, right? It doesn't matter. Like, even if I'm putting my the feet in the sand and putting up a picture, that is still content, right? And that's aesthetic. Perhaps it'll get more likes than some work that I put up, but it's still that I think in the nooks and crannies of social media, which has helped us a lot actually. Social media has been a game changer for independent artists, right? Because
No doubt.
uh, we wouldn't have been able to reach out to an audience or anybody for that matter if it weren't for social media, if it weren't for these other things that record labels only push. um, Usually record labels push the artist or the songs that one creates, right? But when social media comes into the play, we just have access to a lot more. We don't need the middleman anymore. The middleman honestly becomes obsolete at some point, because if I make relatable enough, like, content, and people start following me, no matter for whatever reason that may be. Okay, maybe the music isn't the only thing I do. Maybe I also cook food really well and people just like my recipes, but I have 100,000 following on my recipes, and then I suddenly post a song, and
Mhm.
the people who are actually watching me cook are also watching me perform, and then you merge the two, and it still becomes viable, right? The key point here is to how to push yourself into the limelight, right? Everyone wants to be seen, everyone wants to be
Now,
noticed,
Mhm.
everyone wants to matter. And this is a universal conundrum. This is a universal question. We want our lives to be full of purpose, and with social media, there, like, the actual validation of likes and views, it's because it's the same reason why we have trouble swallowing the fact that we might not have enough views like we want to. It's because it fills some sort of purpose into your work, that I have made this, I have created this, and most people have liked this at some point, and they have related to this, and now I can feel validated, and thus I can create more. So it's this endless, I mean, vicious cycle when you just slap on content onto creation, because
Paloma,
obviously.
Yeah. Yeah.
Paloma, I
Yes, yes.
personally would love to watch you cook kosher while singing one of your songs.
Yeah, that should be a thing, right? Kitchen singing. Yeah, I've thought of it. Okay, like Shomit
Yeah,
was
yeah.
saying, there are a lot of
It's.
things that goes
It's a
on,
great idea.
and I cook really well. Okay, so I've thought of this. I'm like, you know what?
I'm sure you do.
This is
So, and you sing really
Mhm.
well. So yeah, just get them together.
yeah.
But Niti, like, you've seen the transition, right? Like from
Yeah.
then to now. So what difference do you see? Like, is there a, like, do you think social media and all of this is helping in certain way, or it's adding extra pressure to on artists to do much more than they're supposed to do? I mean, obviously everything has a good and bad. So social media has done a lot of good.
Yeah.
I'm sure that has happened.
See,
But like from your point
yeah.
of
So
view, what?
when I was in my 20s, to learn
Hmm.
about music or any new band or what a certain band was doing, whether they were releasing a new record, you had in England you had just two magazines, the Melody Maker and the NME, and it would come out once a week, and they like all the musicians, anybody who's interested in music, like waiting for that day, I think it used to come out on a Tuesday.
Mm.
And that's it. I mean, a bit of radio, a bit of television, obviously, but that was the main thing. But the problem was that, first of all, you had to get on these magazines. So that meant there was a certain amount of, what's the word? It was the papers these papers editors had to choose you to be on their cover or to have an article about you, and that meant it wasn't democratic. It was like a bit on the feeling of the people who created these papers. Now with social media the way it is right now, as Paloma said, it's anybody can do it. It's democratic. You're reaching out, to your listener without anybody in between, anybody's opinion in between, which is the other thing. In that, the paper, whoever wrote an article about your band would have an opinion. But as we know, everybody reacts to music in a different way. The same piece of music, everybody has a different kind of feeling about it. So now with the social media thing, it's basically you're going out there direct with no other people's opinion. And it was interesting what you said about being able to hide your likes on Facebook.
Hmm.
In that, I'm sure a lot of people with like 100,000, 2 million, followers are there because, first of all, they would get, say, let's say 10,000 likes. And then anybody who comes across this video or content on social media go, oh, this person's got 10,000 likes. Let me have a listen. Just adding to a snowball effect.
Yeah.
So being able to hide the likes is a very good sort of way of just, leveling the ground here.
Yeah, definitely.
I must try that though. I must find out where that is.
Ah,
It's easy.
ah,
You'll find it on Google. It's really nice.
But I guess it's also a part of this viral culture, right? Where you're
yeah,
hoping that one day I wake up and something goes viral, something that I've said or something that I've done. I
Yeah.
mean, you're not actively hoping this, but since so many people are attaining stardom, attaining fame, attaining popularity that way, it's also one of those things in the background that, as musicians, I guess, if I were to take it really personally, I would say that you hope that one day my music reaches more people, and more people listen to it, even if they dislike it. It's just
yeah.
about reaching out, right? And one of my favorite artists actually said something really, really pertinent that I always think about whenever I let social media not bother me or bother me, whatever you want to say. So Fiona Apple is one of my favorite artists, actually, because a lot of her work is narrative driven as well. She emphasizes a lot on lyrics, and which is something that I personally like doing as well. And she is actually not a part of what we know as popular media at all. So, but she's been winning Grammys, okay, and she's been winning. She's still relevant somehow, even though she isn't a part of popular culture as we know it. There are several other artists like this. I'm just taking up one example, where she says that this is not the life she chose for herself when she decided to make music, and and
Hmm.
and I think that's something really simple, but then something really pertinent as well, because when you decide to do something, whether it be cooking or making music or making anything at all, there is a certain expectation in your mind that I will get to follow the things that I have in mind, or I will get to create the things that I have in mind. And adapting and improving is obviously a part of it, but it's something really simple that I did not choose this certain life that I must subscribe to and press the bell icon on. So it's just that it's just a simplistic way of understanding this entire thing, I believe.
On that note, please do subscribe, like, and share the video. We do have to do these
Of
things,
course.
but but I like adding to your point. There are artists who start by using the trends and thinking, okay, I need that one viral video,
Uh-huh.
and I'll do anything that that formula is. Obviously, it may or may not work, but they're trying those things, and I think that adds a layer of so many layers of so much layer of pressure that it actually takes away from what you're. I mean, if you actually are an artist and you want to produce art, it really takes away from that. That you're so lame is that I want to be viral using a certain trend, using these tools. I might have to shrink my song, my art piece from 4 minute to 30
3
seconds
minutes,
or
38
1 minute.
seconds.
Yeah, so many things you have to think about. So it really does. But I guess, I mean, we are living in those times. So is there a like from all of you, is there like, I mean, I think something to answer and something that people can take away would be, what should an artist do in a situation like this, where you have this content game that you need to be part of in some way, and you also art is precious to you, it's close to you, it's very personal to you, and you want to create good art. So what can be the right approach in that scenario? Anyone? Udipan, if you think want to start
Yeah.
with that.
So I think a lot of concerning about the issue, I think a lot of clarity comes to someone after experience. So until you go through the phase of experience of being able to make better judgment, I don't know how I can help someone who is starting out, because I really don't know how the trends are, what new generation kids want and stuff. But after hit and trial, keep trying, and then reach to a point where you can make a certain level of judgment for yourself, especially for our art. We know how to make a video about it, how to take those key decisions so that our music is, or our idea is transformed into so-called art or content. So other than that, I think everybody has a choice, and at looking into the current situation, I think the choice should be about creating or going through that rigorous process, or keeping yourself calm and healthy. So these are completely contrasting thing. Nobody would align it in the initial stage of their careers, but I would highly recommend to have this very, like, try and find this clarity of, should I be going through this whole tedious work of creating content and following someone, trying to copy them or stuff, or should I focus on being mindful about being calm and look after my mental well-being or physical well-being. So that is something that I would like to share. Other than that, I really don't know how the new generations are, like, kids are like coping up with the whole content creation or any struggle that they are going through.
So I'd like to say
Yeah,
something, what
please.
Shomit said earlier on. I think a key element to all of this is honesty, meaning being
Yeah.
honest with yourself and honest to the work you're trying to create, and not be a, what is it? What secondhand? What is it? Shomit?
Second-hand personality.
Can
Secondhand
I say something?
personality. Yeah.
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 So you
No,
have to.
definitely. Once you're done with your,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's a thing that comes from your heart. Um, I think many people have forgotten that there's something like that inside.
Yeah.
And if it if you're honest and sincere and totally like upfront about it, I think people get it anyway, because truth beats lies any day of the week. Yeah. So actually, I've lost the thread of my conversation. So you guys take it. If you've understood a single word that I've said, you
I
take it
think I
from
just
there.
add a little bit. I think honestly, our conversation should have ended when Nishit said subscribe and like, because we are artists talking about content creation when we are right now at the moment creating content. End of the day, we
This is
accepted
Yeah.
content.
we accepted to be part of this because we also wanted to be part of this content. I think uh,
We're part of
everybody should
Nishit's
do.
content, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah,
When they
It's all
say
small.
content.
Jamsteady's content. Yeah,
Yeah, he's going to do
and
this every week.
I think basically everybody should do whatever the fuck they want to if they're really honest about it. If you are driven by your heart, as Mitikaku said, do that. I think honesty means honesty to anything who you are. If you are a fuck all creator and you know about it, you make bad content, go ahead, do it. Why wouldn't you do it? You have your artist, you have your bracket. I think we always kind of limit someone a way that we want them to behave. As Paloma said about that artist who is not on social media, I think her content is not having any content. I think that's her
Yeah.
strategy. Everybody has their own strategy. We don't understand that. We just kind of we also want to feel that we don't understand, we don't do anything, but yet we have the best phones, we have the best laptops, we have the best internet connection,
We have accessibility. Yes.
houses, clothes. We want
Yeah.
some people want premium accessibility. As I mean, some people in Calcutta, you guys know of Jesse Young's Kitchen, right?
Oh
Where
yeah.
we order food from. They are not
Shout
on
out to Jesse
Zomato.
Young.
Yeah, and a lot of people ask me why aren't they on Zomato, why aren't they on Swiggy? I said that's the whole reason why they aren't, because that's a premium feeling that you get, that oh, you haven't had Jesse Young, man, I love Jesse Young, dude, you should definitely
Yeah,
order. It's
like
because that makes you
underground.
that makes you feel premium. You feel premium, like how as Paloma said,
At the
when we
same time,
didn't
they do
know
have
about that
amazing food.
artist, when she spoke about that artist who has won Grammys and we don't know about it, it's because now Paloma feels premium that I know about that artist. You don't know about it, but yeah,
No, that's not
I'm not
true
saying that's a
though.
good thing. No, that's not. No, I'm not saying it in a. That's what I'm saying.
I'm
It's
just
not a
saying
good
that people
or a
lead
bad
parallel
or a
lives.
true
Okay.
or a false. No, you're not understanding my point. My point is you don't have to at any point of time be in any certain way that any bracket wants you to accept. You can be honest about anything that you do, whether it's creating food while singing a song, whether it's not creating anything. The moment you want to behave a certain way, like if you want to not be on social media because you follow an artist who's also not on social media and you want to feel as premium as that artist, I think that's where most of the issues start happening, and that's where faulting starts happening, because you don't know how to behave, because you're, as I was saying to Mitikaku, that is second hand personality. That's behaving a way that you want to behave by after reading, after watching, after listening, after absorbing, but that's not you. That is not you. So you should always kind of try and want to be as you as possible, even if it does not suit. I have videos where I have 500 views, 600, and I have videos where there are 30,000 views. But it does not matter, because end of the day, till the time I die, will keep creating. And no, I don't know if people watch it, man, damn cool. They don't watch it, that's also damn cool, because every plate has its eater, and we shouldn't force someone to eat something just because it's good for you to eat it. And I think that's where things start getting unfair, and that trickle down effect comes on genuine artists who don't want to be content creators, genuine artists who don't want to uh, mm, be in this cloud, which is, I mean, all of these things are fine. It's when you start behaving a certain way. I think that's my issue. Just whoever's watching this or watching anything, do whatever the fuck makes you feel good about you and makes you, and not to be a certain way, not to
But
be
there is a certain sense
in
of
a bracket.
privilege attached to what you're saying. Okay, like I agree with what you're saying,
Definitely,
but
definitely.
there is this
Privilege of
certain sense
having
of
this YouTube account
clarity.
definitely is
Yeah, yeah,
privilege.
no, no, yeah,
Everything is
yeah, no. I
privilege.
am
Everything
saying that
comes
there
from
is some
privilege.
clarity that you already have. Okay, by like you are actually content with the things that you're creating. Okay, and for you, content creation comes naturally, perhaps. Okay, say for me as well. I don't necessarily think that I am creating content, but I like being on the internet. I like posting random things. Okay, and you know, anyone who's in my vicinity and around me will understand that, you know, I just like being a part of the internet culture and just seeing what's up. Okay, I like to pry, but which is
Definitely,
why
yeah.
I also like to pry into these people who have taken, like, you know, who have had parallel lives and they are achieving the same amount of success. So there is no cookie cutter way that one must behave in order to reach
Definitely.
the similar heights of success that a content creator with 100,000 followers has. However, that is a more efficient way, and that is a more that is a path that is taken more often than other people. Like, a lot of people who aren't on social media, and obviously they have their like you say, their own premium feeling of not being involved and whatnot. But then again, that is still, I guess, some people. Whereas a few people, and it doesn't really matter what we say, because I have a couple thousand followers, and if I actually go up to a content creator and say you're not an artist, and they have 2 million followers, what does it matter? How does it matter? Because they are extracting what they want to extract, and at the end of the day, it is what we want as well, right? What do you want? Does it make you feel better if you're a part of this entire race where you go like, no, I need more followers, I need more likes? Is that your hyperactive state where you're content? If you are, then that's great for whoever. Like, I personally feel extremely overwhelmed, okay, when people start messaging me saying that, oh, why didn't you do this promotional video and that promotional video and this and that, and I'm like, yeah, okay, yeah, okay, time to go away. So I have this default button that switches off whenever there is too much pressure on me to be present on social media. However, on the flip side of things, I like being on social media, and I don't really think that it is detrimental to my mental health or anything like that. However, when people start putting this additional, pressure on me, is when I retract and I go like, okay, fine. Now that you're pressurizing me, I don't really feel like putting a picture of my foot online.
So I guess this is exactly what I wanted to convey when I mentioned about like the judgment skill comes after a good amount of experience where you know
Yeah.
what
Definitely.
project you need to get, what you need to put your energy into and stuff. While being a newbie into this of creating art and then following all the content creators to load yourself with a lot of stress and anxiety, again I would say like that's the stage where you need to be mindful of what choice you make. Do you want to rigorously keep doing this until you get so experienced that your judgment is right, or you leave it and just focus on your well-being? I think that's something no one taught us when before the pandemic. The whole mental well-being thing came after the pandemic. So this is something that definitely the new musicians or any artist should definitely look into before getting on board for content creation.
Yeah, true. And I think definitely, I think one of the main things is, as an artist, you have to first be good at your art. I think that should go
I
without.
think there
I mean,
is
you have to
never good art or bad
have,
art. So
no, in the
it's
sense,
just our choice of liking it or
no,
not liking it.
yeah, I agree. But in the sense, like, say for instance, I want to play an instrument, I should know the craft. I should put in
No,
enough
not
time.
necessarily. Like now
No.
with technology and the new ways of learning, I think a lot of kids are
Mhm.
doing amazing stuff, not playing a scale or anything. They are just experimenting with technology, like how they can
Right.
create a sound, how they can play, just touch the guitar, but that sound is looped over and over, and it's
Sure,
again
sure,
it's
sure,
it's
sure.
again a different form of art.
That's a different form,
Yeah,
absolutely. But what I mean to say is, say for instance, you want to do that loop and electronic kind of a scenario. You still need to know and invest time into doing that and understanding that really well.
yeah, for sure.
Or right, or I could also just create like a one, two, three chords and just loop it and create something. But where is the um, uh, where is the effort, time, my so again, that's where I think the difference comes in fact, the last week we were speaking to a friend, DJ Skip, and he was saying someone had come to him to for lessons. He's like, can you teach me how to produce music? He's like, sure. And then he told him, actually, I've already released an album. So he was like, what? Like, he's like, my album is already out, but I don't know how to produce music. So just that thing itself, that it's so easy that you can either you can get it ghost produced, or you can just get on Fruity Loops, create some things and get it mastered, mixed, and then release it as an as an artist. which I think works as an idea of content creation, or I want to be famous, I want to reach this goal, which is also fine. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I think in that sense, but I think I mean, maybe a little traditionalist in that sense that as an artist, you need to put in that effort into your art, and you will have those ups and downs in your life, you will have those emotions, you will have those experiences, and that starts reflecting in your art. And I think everyone has their choice which path they want to take, obviously, right? Like they want to follow the trending thing and be good at it. It can lead to mental health situations later on because of the pressure, or you'll be really good at it, you'll be a kick-ass, you'll be killing it on that. But uh, I feel definitely putting your time and effort into whatever you do has to be your first thing, and then you layer it up with marketing and content creation. And this is what I feel. I could be totally wrong. So I think we are also coming close to. There are many comments. Is 2020 either you're making content? Okay, so Ali says in 2021 either you're making content or consuming it. Fair enough.
Yep.
I
Yeah.
think that
Yeah.
makes
Hi,
sense.
Margot.
Hello, Margutta.
Yeah, Revu is saying, yeah, what I was also adding, that you still have to be good at technology. Like it is easy, and
So
I have
all this
seen.
while, for a longest time, I always thought that fuzz is really bad. It's not distortion. Until
What?
I
Sorry.
fuzz, like the fuzz tone. So I
Right,
never
right,
I
right.
never used to like it. I was like, ye kya sound hai? How can someone use this, But over experience, like after playing shows and then experimenting, I really liked it, like there are a lot of fuzz layers in, I use a lot of fuzz now in our recordings. So that's
Yeah,
what, like someone, even with technology, it might not be my taste, but it is good. So similarly, if
yeah,
it comes down to creation also, even without not a lot of knowledge, if maybe I would have used fuzz, it would have still sounded good at that point of time. I don't know. So for with technology, I think like a lot of things can work out without even having a great knowledge about it in 2021. That's what I mean.
Revo is just dropping
absolutely.
the best comments. Okay. It's
Who is
amazing.
Rivu?
Revu
Revo
is a
Music. You
musician.
go check his YouTube
Yeah,
page out after
you
I
this.
must check out his music.
Yeah.
remember Uddipan. I sent an album to you. I told you there's this one guy who's, I mean, almost sort of a genius. He plays the multi instruments, and his incredible journey of light. That album we heard while I think we were going to Arunachal. I played that album. I told you this guy is brilliant. I mean, not this guy,
Uh,
Oh, okay,
that
okay,
guy.
okay, okay.
So he's that
This
same guy. He's
actually
brilliant.
strangely feels like one of the conversations that Revo and I just have on the daily. We discuss these
right.
things and we're like, oh, ki hoche life hai, and then we move on to this this ultra meta narrative of how we actually must preserve our sanity through whatever it is that we're thinking.
Revo always has these. That's why last week we had a great conversation. For those who haven't watched our last episode, please go and watch it. It's great content. So I think
Nishit is nailing wannabe content creator. He's nailing it today.
I am the second hand. I am gonna nail the second hand. What's that? Second hand
Not
personality.
nothing.
I don't think I fully comprehend it, but it sounds really sassy, so I'm going to use it.
I'll send it to you. I'll send it to you. It's very
Yeah.
interesting. It's
Oh,
very interesting.
something that I really a phrase that I learned recently, and I'm going to overuse it. I'm going to use it to death. Actually, is intellectually lazy. No, nothing.
Ooh.
I love it. I love it. Anything that I don't like, I call intellectually lazy because I'm such an
Yeah.
intellectual. Yeah.
Awesome. So I think, yeah, we are coming close to our session. So we don't. Oh wow, I should plug this in. I'm wearing a t-shirt also. We are also selling t-shirts, so get in touch with us if you want to buy.
Make pajamas. We
Nailing.
should make pajamas as
Nailing.
well. We're all
I know, right? Pajamas would be great at
Yeah,
this
Nishit
yeah.
is
time. What a
Nishit
great
is
idea!
nailing it today. Claiming
What
and
a great
nailing.
idea! Thank you. It's the company. Last I think pretty much covered the topic, and from what I could gather is definitely each to their own. There are great, some people are great at content creating. Please do that. Please follow what you really believe in. Uh, Again, personally, my thought would be that I still think art and content are two separate things. They can overlap, help each other, but if you have that clarity, I mean, at least you are aware that these two can be used.
Rashid,
I
I
mean,
can give you a
not
great
separate.
tip. I can give you a great
Yes,
tip. If you
sure.
are thinking that art and content are completely two different things, then probably
Yeah,
you are seeing a lot of uh, things on your feed which you don't like. Try filtering
right.
your feed. Every content is art. So after
Hmm.
filtering my social media feed of muting pages, not following what is not for me, like anything that comes up, even an article or any tweet or anything, is
Sure,
just art or content. Like every content is art to me now.
Okay, I just
So
sure.
want to say something here.
Yes,
So I think all art is content, but not all content is art.
yeah.
Yeah.
All
definitely.
right.
Definitely. I
I
think
think that's it.
On that
we
note,
can close this
oh,
session
my
now.
battery is about to go, so I have to close this anyway.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. We are already there. So yeah, I totally agree with Miti on that. Uh, and I also agree with Uddipan. I'm trying to do that, but I like to keep know what's going on.
See,
You know,
there comes the whole
it's important,
choice.
right?
There
Yeah.
comes the choice, the
No, of
important
course.
choice to be made.
But being aware. I don't like. I mean,
I haven't been aware of a lot of things that I used to be earlier, and after
right.
being in Goa, like Sambit hates the fact that me and Bob both are in Goa, that we are completely
Mhm.
disconnected. We go lost sometimes, no internet, nothing. So
No, no.
this life is wonderful, you know, like
Misinformation. That's
disconnecting,
misinformation.
not following a lot of stuff going around, not
Yeah,
following a lot of things on
yeah.
social media. It's fantastic. It's really beautiful.
I
So I
think
think
I'm
Rashid,
sure.
I think I would like to cleanse it before this goes out. It's misinformation. It's only when he had to send a guitar file and Bob had to send a bass file is when I told them, come out of the forest and send me your wave files because I need
yeah,
to mix it.
that's
That's
the
the
next
only
day after the
time.
cyclone, by the
That's
way,
the
Miti.
yeah.
That
That's
was
the
next day
only
after the cyclone.
Insensitive,
yeah.
Chombi. Cheat, cheat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually,
No,
to
but
be
Miti,
Yeah.
please share your
to be
At least
honest,
Miti,
internet guys
at least
details.
I'm being me. I'm not trying to be someone else.
no, that's okay. But Miti would understand.
Maybe you are. How do we
I'm
know?
kidding.
He asked for everything just next day of the cyclone, Miti. Can you
Yeah.
understand?
Because I was
yeah.
very
But
I was in
I
the
quite
mood. I really wanted to
enjoyed
finish
being
the song.
completely off the radar for about 5 days. I mean, even our phones didn't have any data coming in. So literally, we were
Right.
off, off the radar. And then after the first couple of days of feeling uncomfortable, you just go, oh, actually, this is not too bad.
It's not too bad. Yeah. Definitely. Cool. I think it's been a great session. I really enjoyed chatting and understanding and getting all the inputs from you. And I'm sure people, our friends, close friends, Rivu, Ali, who've been constantly messaging and supporting us, and the others who've been watching have found some value in this. We will be continuing to do this session every Sunday with different. Next week we have a session on NFTs actually, and how they are bringing this new
Is
world
Sambit part of
into.
this?
Sambit is unfortunately not part of this,
Oh,
but Sambit has a
yeah. You need
How
to
mean.
everyone
understand.
That was so
should check
mean.
out Sambit's first NFT.
No, it's he's saying because of something else. Actually, every Sunday I have class. This is the only Sunday I'm free because
Yeah,
I'm in Bombay. So, which is why I only told Nishit that come on, I really want to meet all of you because I haven't spoken to Paloma, Miti Kaku for a very long time. Udip, so we speak almost every day,
Yeah.
but I haven't,
right.
I don't get to see them or talk to them on an everyday basis. So, which is why I was like, yeah, man, let's do it. This is a home scene. I'm also free right now. Why not for sure? Because next Sunday again, I'm back to Calcutta. My classes start, so I won't be able to join.
Okay.
And it's so good to
Easy.
see
Super.
you. And it's good to finally meet you, Uddipan. We've never actually
Likewise,
interacted.
I'm sure we
Yeah.
will
Yeah.
catch up soon whenever we are in Kolkata or whenever you are traveling.
Yeah,
Oh, you haven't
definitely.
been to Goa, so
I have
Yeah.
not
yeah,
actually.
you have a You
I
have a
actually had
reason
a
to come.
long plan to visit Goa last June, and then this happened, and
Yeah.
well, the rest is history.
Super
All right.
sweet. So on that note, bye bye. Thank you
Thank
everyone
you
for
so
joining,
much.
taking
It was
taking
nice
your
seeing
time
you,
out.
Mitida. Bye bye. Thanks,
Yeah,
Yeah.
nice
Nishi.
seeing all of
All of
you.
you.
Bye,
Thank you
Showbiz.
everyone.
Bye, Uddipan.
Bye
Bye.
bye
Take
bye.
care. Bye bye.
Bye, very
See you
good.
all
Bye, Paloma.
soon at
Bye, good.
some gig, physically, online, wherever.
Sure. Bye bye.
Bye.